Yo, hello guys.
Hello, welcome.
Want to introduce yourself or?
You should do first. You're the more known person.
Okay,
So
so I'm Wilco. I used to run this game. I promise I still know quite a bit about the game. So,
yeah,
and on co-commentary we have Lavita. He was also a German SMS speedrunner.
I still run this game. Yeah, I would say I know also enough of this game. And well, Basten SB, I think they know more about this game. I would feel like
Probably, yeah.
They got into the league and they got beyond the cutoff point after all. So
Yeah, I think Basten was like the last person who made the cut, right? With a 1:17:30.
No, Equivocal Genius, who I think won against Paper yesterday, actually is the cutoff with a low 118
I see.
on 5 select. He has a race file PB, but race file is not necessarily not relevant here.
Not yet, yeah.
No.
No, I'm just kidding, of course, but that's true. It's kind of crazy how high stacked the tournament is. Like, if the last guy has a low 118, like we have 16 players after all, so should make for a lot of close races.
I mean, one can imagine like we have people like Shell Mario there, who has a low 115, or we have JJ and Ouija with 114s even. And then we have like, I think Gogo is in tournament, Basten, and Equivocal Genius, who have like mid 117s to like a 118/117. And you would think maybe the races won't be close. And like yesterday we had an example that it actually isn't, because it's any percent. It's unfortunately, I think a bad category. It's volatile.
But it can make for exciting races. Like, even if the other player is better, like there's so many things that can happen RNG wise. Like a mistake can lose quite a lot of time if you die at the end of a secret. So, I mean, you can be the better player for sure if you're playing consistent and maybe have some luck.
Yeah, and with like both players, Basten and SB, Basten had like a really unfortunate race yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that game over on Noki 6.
Let's hope this will be better today. And SB has been playing a lot, has been really consistent. He got like a PB yesterday. He got a PB the day before. And he's been kind of killing it. But I said, any percent, horrible category, that anything can happen there.
So as you mentioned, Basten already did a game, because how it works is it's a group stage with 4 players, and the top 2 of the group advance as far as I know. And there's also a point system, so if you win the race, you get, what was it, 60 points, right?
I have actually not looked at the format.
Let me take a look real quick. Yeah, it's 60 points, and then for every 10 seconds you get 1 additional point. And because Basten unfortunately got that game over in Noki 6, that means that he actually got 0 points and Shadowmaru got 90 points. So, like, for Basten, he has to win this race to advance, and he better win it by a bigger margin, because if he get into a tie situation and you have less points, then you're still not going to make the cut.
And it will not be an easy task against SB. I think if Basten plays really well, I think SB will probably go for a lot of safer strats. He's more of the safe kind of guy, which would like make farming points of him be really difficult. But we
Yeah,
will
I think
see.
you're very right there. I think one thing that you could also mention is the fact that Basten already did a race in the tournament against Shadow Mario.
Oh.
So it's always different to be actually in a race situation where everything is on the line compared to like the PB attempts you do in your regular stream. So maybe Basten already having some experience and SBlectric having his first race today might make a difference.
That's true. We could have some nerves. It's the first game after all in the tourney. He has done the 1545 race, but you can't really compare this showcase race to an actual tourney with things on the line, even
That's
though
very
it's still
true.
early on.
Yeah, very true. And I think because Shadow Mario is, I would say, like definitely the strongest player in the group. So having your first race against the strongest player, I think that's something that I would prefer doing, like getting a feel for like the tournament's conditions. Because if you're unlikely to win anyways, then if you get your experience early on, you might perform better against the people who can actually have a higher chance of beating.
Oh, I just saw how brutal this group for Basten is with Guy and SB in it. Oh, he needs some points there. So this
For
will be
sure,
rough,
yes.
but anything can happen. I said this for the third time already, and it's unfortunately still true. Oh well, it actually is fortunate for us as viewers / commentators / I don't know anything else.
So yeah, in the beginning of the race we have a few cutscenes. So actually I'm noticing that they have two different versions. I don't know if you want to maybe explain the differences between PAL and JP.
Oh, okay. I'll start off with the most important thing. The voice acting in the card cutscene, notably, is way not way different, but the most notorious thing is the piano saying "Shrine Sprite" or "Shrine Gate." No, he says "Shrine" instead of "Shrine," and there's like some I would say less relevant things, like a stricter requirement to clean off the beach and Serena 6, which can take like some seconds. I think 8 is the consensus of like RTA attempts, and sometimes it can also troll you, but it's not a big deal. It's only like 10 seconds. 8 like 5 to 10 plus, depending on how if you get trolled or not. And two other gameplay things that are more noticeable are fruit storage, which can be executed in everything but JP 1.0 for SB, who's playing on that, which makes EYG a trick later on easier. The hover is stronger, but then you would have the question why the players would play on each version. Basten on PAL in Italian, SB on JP, and maybe you want to mention the main factors of why these two versions are the ones being used.
So yeah, like the Japanese version and the PAL version are about the same speed in any percent. Like one thing that you will see is that the JP version saves more time early on, but as Lavita said, later on, especially in Serena, PAL will catch up because of that goo in Serena 6. And the exception is like the English version, NTSCU, which is definitely slower. But with these two, it's like about the same speed, so it's gonna even out in the end. Alright, and now we finally get some gameplay.
Yeah, what was that about? Why didn't we do race fire? I don't understand. This is like a race after all.
I have to check with the organizers after that.
So,
so now we go for the first Shadow Mario kill. Well, we unlock Bianco first, but that's should be an easy part.
we have like the standard movement with hover slides, or like water slides rather, being faster in general, but you kind of take a wide route there, and there's a movement that is kind of difficult. It's kind of tricky, and
The movement over the roof to get like the early kill.
it looks better though, so like maybe.
I mean, it looks better and it's faster. Like you should definitely go for that.
Yeah, it's the best of out of both worlds. I think one of the runners should have like shown off. I'm disappointed already.
Yeah, it's always. But the thing is, in races, you always have to look out for your consistency. So I can totally see why it's better to have a safe strategy there. All right, here comes the first Shadow Mario kill. It's important to get him early on so he doesn't take the longer route around the houses.
Which will happen for SB.
Yeah, we can see the difference now.
He attempted an instant kill on Xiaomai, which saves, I think, 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, and when you mess it up, you can sometimes back it up well enough to not lose a lot of time, or you can bonk onto Mario and just lose like 10 seconds plus.
So basically, how Lavita said it, if you do a rollout and spam spray, you can get him instantly, but you take the risk of potentially not getting him bonking or just missing him. So unfortunately for Electric, Shadow Mario took the longer path, and that gives Basten an early lead for the first shine.
This is the first like real or like noticeable movement. Wall kicks are pretty tricky. You need a good spider for this, and it's kind of a shine that you can lose time on, but both players did the shine pretty well. Didn't mess up. SB lost the 10 seconds before, but that really doesn't matter that much. And what shine is in PD actually? Isn't it like the aren't you intended to fight a piranha, not a piranha plant, goop plant?
Yeah, you intended to do that, but it's also intended that the shine is there earlier, so I think the game even gives you a hint that you can actually skip that shine if you want to, which is the only shine that's in the intended way of skipping. We will skip some other shines with Gelato Skip later and EYG, but we'll come to that later.
But why do you think PD is unlocked early in Bianco? Did the developers just like dislike PD that much that they want him to be killed off earlier, just for him to come back and ruin our days?
I'm not sure, but I can actually call my uncle later because he works at Nintendo, so I'm sure he can tell me why.
Then ask him why Bianca 5 is the way it is then, but we will come to this later.
Alright, so standard PD fight for both. Now they're entering Bianco 3, which is the first secret level. I'm curious to see if somebody goes for the slightly faster strat. There's a strat in a secret where you do a rollout in the very beginning. It saves a very minimal amount of time. I think it's like 0.3 or something. But
I think it's being debated.
But it's pretty risky. If you mess it up, you might die and lose a lot more time.
I wouldn't even say it's that much more difficult, but the safer strat definitely is so much safer that like you usually don't mess it up, and for a race you can easily go for this. There's no shame in that.
Alright, both both runners with the safe triple jump in the beginning.
Mm.
That's the easiest secret. Like, usually nothing major goes wrong here, but the next secret levels that come up can definitely cause a lead change.
Yeah, like Pinner 2, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, not if you read, but like...
Alright,
Oh,
now the
travel
runners
skip.
are making the way to Rico Harbor, unlocking it, and then doing travel skip. Do you want to explain travel skip?
So it's kind of simple. It looks flashier than it actually is. You just enter Bianco Hills while the cutscene is still playing for Rico. So you have like both cutscenes kind of override themselves. So both play at about the same time or like partially in between. So you don't you save the time of both cutscenes and you save the time waiting until the cutscene plays initially. One reason why they unlock it right now is to minimize event cutscenes, which play a pivotal role in this game because one event cutscene is 3 seconds, and if they were like to enter Bianco before doing the travel skip and doing Bianco 4 before that, they would lose 3 seconds for nothing.
And here we can see like a slight difference in movement. Lectric going for the more optimal slide on the grass with the spin jump of the lock. Actually saving quite a bit of time with his movement, so... I mean, there's RNG involved, but you can definitely catch up with just movement alone as well. Nice glitchy wall kick at the end.
Yeah, this shine has found a lot of optimization over, well, not over the past like 2 years or something, but I can remember it looking way different before than how it looks like right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech got implemented. There was like different stages of optimizing the shine, so it came a huge way. All right, so now we come to the first RNG shine. They're pretty close to each other, so depending on the RNG, we could actually see a lead change, or maybe Basten getting a nice buffer again.
There's a lot of RNG to this. The patterns RNG, and if PD gives you a tornado or not, it's also RNG. The tornadoes like kind of play a role, like a decent role, but the patterns can be way more detrimental. There's a lot of there are a lot of possibilities for the patterns with like different probabilities. There's a lot into it. PD can, it's not as unusual if PD gives you a decentish pattern, but he can sometimes just screw you over really bad or bless you with.
And it's actually pretty nice that we can see both Peters be done at the same time, and they actually take the same pattern in the beginning. The next one is actually guaranteed, so they will also have the same second pattern, which is going next to the pole there.
Yeah, this spot is usually I would say the best because it guarantees not guarantees, but the chances of a good to decent pattern are way higher when he starts there.
Yeah, because the second one will always be here. The third one can differ. Like, he can go next to the cliff, that would be really fast. But he could also decide to go over the houses. So let's see what they get for the third pattern. And SB is getting the best pattern after this one.
And Basten... Oh, Basten gets... It can still be decent if he goes directly to the M spot.
Please don't turn around, PT. Oh, he went the other way too. That's unfortunate. That's a big difference on the third one. But
yeah,
that can happen in SMS.
And SB got like, I would say third best pattern or second best. I actually don't know if if it's actually second or third, but he got a really good pattern. While I would say Basten's is still okay. The first 2 spots were good, or like the third one was kind of rough, but he still exits with a 1651. Yeah.
Yeah, 10-second difference between those 2 players. I think as Basten, knowing that Electric is like really fast and consistent, he was probably happy that he got a lead early on, but now he actually has to catch up, so... Just for reference, Basten's PB is 117.30 and Electric has a 116.13.
11. He PB'd yesterday.
Oh, he did PB. What time did he get?
116.11.
So PB is a PB, even by 2 seconds, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, small PBs sometimes happen. But if you're at that skill level, I think it's fine if you just PB by 2 seconds. You can't be really mad about it.
Having some new splits to run against, knowing that you can actually replicate your PB is always nice.
Yeah. Oh, what is this world? Mama Beach? Huh. Oh, but it looks of it, I like its design. I hope we stay a long time here.
Yeah, I guess that's not gonna take too long because gelato skip is a thing, so...
Is it?
Both players are going to skip the shines by getting the 8th shine and then finishing the last Shadow Mario. You have to just beat Shadow Mario in every level to unlock Corona, so... Alright, let's see for what version they go. There's like the safe version where you run against the coconut, but there's also the backflip version.
There have been so many setups developed for this, and
nice Electric getting it first try.
Yeah. You need a pretty precise angle. You need to center your camera from the right side, which feels more arbitrary than it actually is. I think it actually centers you correctly, like your camera correctly, but if you move it, like there's some like some I don't even know. There are a lot of specifics to why this specific camera angle is needed. It's quite stupid.
If it's slightly off, you're just gonna run past the coconut and actually not be able to clip. But both players get it first try, taking the save, run against the coconut. Oh no. Okay, Basten got him a bit later, but he got him down with a spam throw right afterwards. Electric is getting more into the lead, but a lot of things can happen in Pianta Village where we'll go next, so... It's not too far apart. Basten can definitely still catch up.
Yeah. Okay, there's one thing I remember which I think would play a more pivotal role for Basten. He plays on a CRT right now instead of LCD, I assume, and probably has some latency differences. And
did he like recently switch or?
Yeah, I think he played on LCD last week.
No. I mean, usually CRT is arguably the best one because it has the least amount of delay, but the thing is, if you're not used to it yet, I don't know if 1 week is enough to fully get used to it, so... Electric doing the ground pound with the Habanasal, which I think is a JP specific thing, right?
Yeah, the hover is only strong in JP 1.0.
Yeah, and here Basten couldn't go for that strat, so he had to spam spray, but unfortunately he got a turnaround there, so...
Yeah, he got a weird spin. It's... The game sometimes just wants you to spin, and it happens so many times that you either drop a spin, you get a side flip, or you just randomly spin at one point or another. This game, like, sometimes just hates its runners.
Yeah, and there's like one example of the version differences able to make a difference, because Electric could just... I don't know if we should call him Electric or SB. I think SB is better, right?
I
I'm
think he
just so used
prefers.
to calling him Electric.
I think he prefers SB. Everyone calls him that, so.
Alright. And now we got to Piantissimo. If you finish a race, or let's see what time Electric is going for, 1998. There's actually only certain frames you can go for, like certain times are not achievable. Usually we would try to go for like the same year that it's on. Some people go for 2002 when a game came out. Okay, Basten just wants to show that he can finish the race fast. But unfortunately, Piantissimo is always taking the same time to finish, so it doesn't actually matter what time you finish on.
Technically, he will be faster, but only if you replay the shine, and you don't get any value of this. So, kind of sad, kind of unfortunate, kind of sad. It's basically an auto scroller essentially.
Unlike the next shine, which can actually cause deaths pretty easily, so we actually don't have flood here. So let's see if Electric can get up without falling down.
I think this is like one of the most interesting shines in the game, and we just abuse invincibility frames to just skip all over it.
So basically we get hit by the winds, so we have a few invincibility frames, which allows us to like dive through the lava there. Both of the safe side flip strat. You can also do a momentum spin jump and then a glitchy wall kick, but it's also easy to mess that up, so both are going for the consistent safe method.
It barely saves time. I think it saves 2 seconds, maybe 2.5, and it's way riskier than just doing the standard movement.
Yeah, you will still see some runners do it. I think Sharamari did it. Like, he actually went for a lot of the strats he goes in PB attempts.
Yeah, which I respect on races. I assume that maybe JJ and Ouija will do the same, or Jaco.
And there's always different playstyles. Like, some people change up their strats for races compared to PB attempts, and some just go for everything. Basten unfortunately getting the slowest RNG going all the way to right, but it's just a small difference.
Yeah, this is like probably the least amount of RNG variance that is really significant. There would technically be so little minor things of RNG like Gumi spawning in Pianta 3, which is very rare, or like some other really silly stuff. But usually it's either it's usually a lot of bad RNG happening, like this shine. This shine can be really bad or good depending on what you get for jumps for chucks.
First I have to get in though. Let's see if Electric gets the Yoshi skip. Slash grab, backwards hover. I mean, we're always used to the runners like getting it consistently now. It used to be that it was always like a pivotal point of the run. Now everyone seems to get it, people got better at it, but especially in a race situation, if you get nervous, you might mess it up. Alright, let's see the RNG effect of Electric. Does he get early cycle? Which saves a huge amount of time if you get it, and he actually gets the chance.
Yeah. His RNG has been great, actually.
Yeah, first that really good PD pattern, then the early cycle.
He got like best last trumpet, which is in Pianta 1. He got like not the worst Pianta 4. I mean, at the end of the race, we can say that SB is getting care by RNG. Definitely.
Let's see about Basten. Oh, he missed the throw. That's unfortunate.
That throw is like the worst part about the secret.
Oh.
I hate this throw.
I didn't exactly see what happened there. If he didn't get like the full distance, if he like talked him too early, or he didn't get the A and B press, but that's a very costly death there. I kind of wish for him to get early cycle now, because otherwise the lead is gonna be pretty big.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't get red bounce, but didn't need to.
So basically, if you bounce on a Chuckster, he is gonna keep moving. So that's like a consistent way of like it loses a little bit of time, but on average, it saves time if he would stop there. And meanwhile, Electric is on the Pianta 6 shine, very technical shine.
He didn't get the full spray on the 5th Pianta, which made him lose quite a bit of time. He still gets a 208, which is pretty decent for a runner of his caliber. I think he's not too sad about it.
Yeah, especially in a race situation. Like, as long as you get a decent time, that's good. So, you see, if you see Basten do Pianta 6 now, you can actually see that he like pre-sprays the Piantas from further away. The reason for that is that if the Piantas come out of the ground, you can't actually clean them instantly. There's some delay, so you want to get those unlocks as early as possible.
I just noticed we are going to get a 28 Pianta by SB, which is a really good time. The RNG helped, sure, but like you have to consider that he lost like 10 seconds in the very beginning. He had some like kind of sloppy shines sometimes. So 28 still is really good, and
I wonder if that might be even PB pace for him right now.
Probably, yeah. 28 is definitely a 115 pace.
Oh, very nice hover slide into momentum spin jump with the spam spray there from Basten. Like he's really turning it up on Pianta 6, like way faster time, so he's catching up. 212, saving 4 seconds on Electric. I mean SB. Alright, Honey Skip coming up. So you want to die on the same fray as you enter the cutscene. If you die too early, you have to redo the trick, so that could be a time save. Or a time loss, depending.
If you don't die, you just watch the cutscene and lose a little bit of time. But SB got it.
Yeah. SB not giving an inch to Basten, but keep in mind that there's also the version difference where Electric is saving more time early on because he plays on JP. But Basten is actually gonna save that time back and run it later. So the difference is not quite as big as it seems to be.
I think the most noticeable time save in for JP are actually in the beginning of the game. Except for like loading times. But I think SB will lose time gradually, technically, on Basten in EYG, in I think Serena 6 especially.
Yeah, Serena 6, and there's also more text boxes in the Japanese version for like the Manta fight and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think if I remember the spreadsheet correctly, it's 10 seconds that JP saves until the second entry of Bianco, and then it evens out again afterwards. Alright, Electric. That was the perfect mecha fight there, right? He got all the 4 shots.
I think there's a strat where you shoot him slightly earlier, but it's kind of... It uses some really stupid shots, so SB like gets a really good mecha, regardless.
Basten also getting Honey Skip, so good on him to still stay 1 shine behind SB.
SB's SB is not racing Basten anymore. He's racing his PB for sure. He wants that 115.
I would be really curious to know how far off he's his PB. Like, it's pretty rare that you actually PB in a race setting.
Yeah, especially if you get a 115 new like a 115 PB in a race, which happened last year, I think, by JJ. I don't know if he jumped from a 116 to a mid 115 or from a high 115. But it can happen in a race for sure.
Oh no, Basten missing the first shot. But the second fastest mecha bowser doesn't lose that much time. I think it's like 3 seconds. But if you miss 2 shots, oh, he didn't get the pre-spray on the rocket, so yes, unfortunately wait for the next rocket. While SB finishing. I wonder if I can still say it right until the end of this race. We'll see. And nice cut.
Yeah, unfortunate mecha. Horrible shine. I hate it. I think Basten also does. I think most of the runners do. It's not a fun shine in particular. And talking about fun shines, Pinner 3, movement heavy shine. There are a lot of strats for this. We have a task strat that I think some runners will go for later this league. And we have the strats SB goes for, which are pretty good, pretty fast. Not the worst kind of deal.
Really nice movement from SBlectric with, oh, he didn't get a spin jump, but he will still make it. But yeah, doing a wall kick dive there, changing Maro's trajectory with the first person.
Oh, the baby strat.
Yeah, I mean that's like the new strat. I saw Samurai Man do it at TwitchCon actually, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna do that in races as well in the league. Like his match is coming up later this week.
Yeah, but right now we unfortunately have Basten, who's like 1 minute 40 behind SB. It's kind of rough, but anything can happen. SB is playing really well, aside from very few mistakes. But Pinner 4 can also be a horrible shine. I think SB got this. I think most runners will be fine with it. And messing up a ground pound or a kill on Snoozing Cooper here loses about 8 to 10 seconds. You have a bit of time until this like a cutscene for one Awakening Sunflower plays.
Oh no, Basten actually clipping through the grate there. Like he wanted to hover underneath and then grab it, but unfortunately he clipped through it, so can't grab it there and he fell through. Another small time loss for Basten, but
yeah, these things will add up and it will make Basten's time to come back from his deficit way much more difficult than it already is, with SB just playing pretty consistently.
yeah, Basten also taking a safe ending, like hangling down up to the top, while SB actually did the momentum run, but I don't blame Basten, because the one thing you don't want to happen is to fall even further behind.
So we have like the most overkill kind of glitch in this run, or like a skip. You need Yoshi, you need proper Yoshi in particular. You need to throw the fruit that makes your Yoshi orange into the loading zone. You need a stew to...
Oh, those two stews are pretty far apart, but
Yeah,
it seems to be fine. He's gonna follow.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need a stew to clip through the wall so you don't enter the actual loading zone. Then you spray the other stew out of... not out of bounds, but like where you're not supposed to be. Create a platform which will make you able to go through a barrier that you can't enter or like really
On
touch
Basten's side, he actually missed the ground pound and one of the Koopa snoozers didn't wake up, so it's like a 2-cycle and some for a time loss. Does he get the last ground pound?
Oh, barely.
Yeah, he barely got it in the cutscene, so it would have been another time loss if he wouldn't get that ground pound. And meanwhile, SB is in the secret.
Yeah, so we have a pretty nice estimate for how far apart they are, because on PAL, EYG takes about 2 minutes 5 seconds, 2 minutes 10 seconds at worst.
So big lead by Electric, but I mean SB.
And SB is actually a really good run, I think. A 38 isn't a joke at all.
Basten doing EYG now. Now we see the fruit storage that you mentioned earlier. Because you saw earlier that SB was throwing the papaya into the park to be able to eat later, but Basten's actually not gonna do that because he can just store the fruit by unmounting Yoshi after eating the fruit before it reaches Yoshi's mouth.
Oh, SB is even going for...
Did he just kill both stews? Well, what is he gonna do now? Oh no, he has to wait for the platform to despawn because the...
Well, he has to have a papaya, so he's fine.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just... SB's run is actually pretty good. It's unfortunate for Basten that he has to play like so many fast players, and if these players are playing really well, it just makes kind of feel bad for Basten for like no matter how good you play, you need a really good run to like win rounds in this match, and it's kind of a lot of pressure, and I don't know if this will reach right now.
Is that angle gonna work? That's gonna be close. I hope he wants off lock. Oh no.
Okay.
That was so close. Like for 1 second he was stuck there, but he got back on the platform barely. Like that would have been game over if he just... Because if you soft lock, you cannot pause the game mid-air. You can't access a level. It would have been over at this point, so... a very Monka situation there.
That shouldn't have worked. Basten has a Guardian Angel. Let's see if he will make use of it.
Yeah. Because he basically was out of bounds then, and the platform kind of pushed itself under him again, so... I mean, even if Basten doesn't win the race, like he still gets points if he finishes within 3 minutes of SB, so...
Yeah, but
that was a close one.
If SB continues like this, he might not need a 118 for this.
Yeah, meanwhile, SB already wrapping up the first in Rico, the blooper fight. With Rico 2 coming up blooperless, a very fun shine. Like, we used to do it on the blooper, but then a long time ago, I remember there was a task that did it without the blooper, and then people started doing it RTA. But that's been like years ago. Makes me feel kind of old. Oh no. Basten losing time on the Shadow Mario there.
Yeah, it's a 3-second time loss. It wouldn't be bad if he wasn't behind already. But I think at this point you just have to try to shake off mistakes and just like keep it cool.
It's really rough. Like Basten doesn't even play that badly. It's just Electric having an amazing run. Like, probably
Yeah,
being tied with PB, so...
No, I think... Yeah, he doesn't have his like latest PB on SRC, but he's kind of quite far ahead of his previous PB.
Yeah, nice blooperless, directly into the shine, while Basten is doing the first star now.
We haven't talked about Rico really, except for blooperless. It's not really...
Yeah, there isn't really much RNG at all in this world. Like, it's mostly just execution. So...
The only part of relevant RNG is the shine of SB is doing right now, which has so little variance. It's not really significant. And he got a really weird crane, so he didn't know what to do. I can understand that.
Yeah, the crane speed is actually one of the very few RNG factors where if you go into the level, you can actually kind of see that in the cutscene how the crane is moving. There's like a strat where you can actually spin jump dive onto the crane if you get the right RNG. But it's more like a single star strat.
A single star strat?
An IL strat. Yeah, I always mix up the terms from SM64 and SMS.
Happens.
I was kind of thinking, the entire time, don't call the shine stars. And now I did it, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, you're commentating Sunshine regardless. You are doing a good job. So
yeah, thank you.
Rico 4, kind of a city secret. It's not difficult, but it can really easily mess you up. And yeah, just like
SB just as solid as the entire run. No mistake there.
Yeah, he's been playing really well until like from I would say Jada onwards. Very few mistakes.
SB coming up for the second blooper kill and Rico 5.
This one is supposed to be more difficult. Yeah, supposed is the keyword. You just have to hold the mouth for longer and drag it a little bit further. He bounces up the tentacle, which could have made Grouper Blooper attack him and like lose him more time. So he waited for another attack and then went for it.
Although you want to release the mouth of Blooper Gooper as early as you can. There's something called Screamless, so usually when you're far enough, then he starts screaming and then you know when you can let go of him, but you can actually do it before the scream slightly. It's like a small optimization.
I even think Screamless is easier on Rico 5, so talking about making the shine more difficult. Whatever.
Basten coming up for the secret level now. Yeah, as you said, it can be really costly if you mess up at the end there.
Yeah, most secret shines.
Oh, he doesn't get the spin jump, but good backup, he still gets up.
Most secrets can lose you like 35 to 50 seconds, depending on where you die. And when you die at the very end, here it's like 4 seconds.
Oh no.
This is like
He
20
doesn't
seconds.
make the full distance on the spin jump. Luckily you get sent back into the secret if you die, so you don't have to like re-enter the level, but that's still a big time loss on Basten's side.
Basten is having a really bad time with the secrets.
He even got a spin jump, but he just didn't quite make it there.
Yeah, he turned his camera for like whatever reason, and I don't know if it messed him up a little bit, but
yeah, I think you might be right. Like, if you have to like strafe into the side, you lose a little bit of distance, and I think you're right. That might be a reason why he didn't make it there.
So he's 2 shines behind SB, so about 2 minutes 50.
Well, that's still 1 point.
That's that's 1 point. But the way SB is playing is really ridiculous. SB really wants this 115 and he's on pace for it even, which is pretty insane.
But as you said, like the secrets level can lose a lot of time, and 50 seconds is I think if you die at the end of Serena 2. Which is still coming up, so let's say like SB would actually die on Serena 2, then it wouldn't be that far apart anymore. Oh, he hits a tentacle as well, but doesn't get attacked, so...
I think a death at the end of Serena 2 is 45, I want to say 50 is usually the Bianca 6 one. Also,
which is also coming up right now, so...
Yeah. Wait, we were in Bianca before. Why didn't we finish up all the shines? And the answer is the usual, I think I mentioned before, event cutscenes, routing, a bunch of factors. Better Shamar kill later on.
Man, I have to say SB's movement is like really crisp.
Yeah.
He's
SB.
definitely putting in the time lately, especially in 80%, because he used to do 120, but recently he switched to 80% in order to prepare for the tournament, so it's really showing.
We talked about like SB's first tournament match, or like his first match in this tournament rather. Maybe having some pressure, and he's doing quite well with this pressure, it seems.
He is, yeah. I mean, if he is nervous now and plays that well, then I don't even want to know how well he's gonna play if he's getting like acclimated to like the tournament setting. Alright, the ending, will he get the spin jump? Nice.
This is so...
Yeah, SB is giving Basten no chance to catch up, but...
Yeah, I feel really bad for Basten, because no disrespect, but I don't think like Basten could realistically beat SB's PV, and SB is like playing really well. So there's like it's really unfair.
SB getting the quick kill on the Shadow Mario, everything going right for him right now. But that might change with Serena, because Serena very volatile with RNG, so we might see his lead deplenish there a little bit. Although it's so big at this point. Alright, going for the Shadow Mario kill.
Basten finished up Rico with still a 50, so he's 3 minutes behind, which is unfortunately quite a lot. But I know we want to like see close races, But I want SB to like have a mess up right now because
Yeah, that's always like the hard thing. Like you want to have the race as close as possible, but if somebody is on PB pace, you kind of want them to PB in a race. I can definitely understand that.
I mean, with what RNG SB has been given to him, I would feel extra bad for him if he like had a major mistake. And so this time I'm not hoping for a close race. Sorry, Basten, no bias, because I don't think Basten can get a. I want to speak it out, but 115.
Alright, SB going for the Manta. It looks pretty good. You want to get the second phase as early as possible, because the purple phase, the Mantas actually go towards Mario, so you want to enter that phase as soon as you can. Seems to be one Manta missing somewhere though. Can he find it? Oh, there's still one more. Okay, that's actually
Horrible.
Yeah, that's a big time loss for SB, so unfortunately what I mentioned earlier with Serena did happen in this shine. Meanwhile, Basten getting a good Bianca 6, so catching up a little bit, it seems like.
Basten did the momentum spin jump instead of just a wide turn thing that SB did. So if you paid attention to him, that was cooler than what SB did, but I honestly can understand if you just want to watch SB succeeding, getting a sick time, and getting screwed over brutally by Manta. But he's still fine.
Basten not getting the quick kill there, but still got him before the water, so that's not too bad. And that's only a one shine difference, but of course the Manta takes a long time to finish, so. And Basten still has to get Shadow Mario and unlock Yoshi in order to get into Serena. Oh no. Okay, he still got him on the ground. Like, you can actually only finish off Shadow Mario if he is on the ground, so he was about to do a bunch of wall kicks, which would have lost a lot more time, so... Mistake by Basten, but fortunately for him, he still got the kill before he would have lost even more time, so...
As Basten got, like... Yesterday in his race, he also messed up the Shadow Mario kill, which is... I don't want to say it's really weird, sometimes he just seems to have more health than he usually does. But this time he got a better Shadow Mario kill.
Oh. And meanwhile, SB with a good Serena too. I think he's gonna go for the momentum spin jump, so let's see. And... yeah. Very solid one.
It used to be, and for some runners it still kind of is a scary strat. And it's just a momentum spin jump. It's not like the end of the world, but it's when you miss it, it's really costly. So
seems like Basten is getting a pretty good split. There's still one Manta on the left there.
there are few Mantas actually.
Yeah.
You never know what a good Manta is until you finish the split.
Yeah, unfortunately he didn't land in the water directly there, so he had to refill his tank, which gave the Mantas more time to spread out, but it's definitely a faster second phase that SB had in his attempt there.
SB is still having a monster of a run though. Very impressive.
Alright, Basten looking into the sunset, so he's actually facing the shine after the cutscene. Because if you go in first person and you look somewhere in first person in a cutscene, and Mario's actually gonna look that way afterwards too. So it's more optimization, yeah, but
So this game has like some weird YCAM or YCAM attributes storages. We have seen it in Pianta 5 from Basten when he got back thrown. You can do this on a Piantissimo where you can just like slightly adjust your angle out of the Shine cutscene. It's the Y camera has some weird properties. So we see a skip by SB, which has been for so long that nobody really notices unless they have never seen it before.
oh no. I don't know if he wanted to spin jump there or the double jump, but he didn't make the distance, so he actually fell down. It's still a quick death, but SB is giving Basten even more time to catch up now, so little by little. Because remember, even if he doesn't win the race, Basten, like if he is within 3 minutes of SB, for every 10 seconds he actually gets 1 point. So if you get into a tie situation, that might be important in the end. So.
It's not the worst of all deaths, and SB's run is still pretty good. I can emphasize this as often as I want.
Basten also going for a spin jump,
yeah,
also making it.
He likes the weird like camera turns. I don't know why. So we have the last major mistake, the last major RNG shine in King Boo, which sometimes is horrible, sometimes is pretty decent. The way this fight works is that you can either get a fruit cycle or an enemy cycle, stash coin, stash bubbles, stash whatever. And you can only get hits on King Boo if you get a fruit cycle. So after every hit, you will have a guaranteed enemy cycle, and you can get extra cycles, like extra enemy cycles instead of fruit cycles. So the most optimal pattern for King Boo would be fruit, enemy, fruit, enemy, fruit. In regular cases, there's one special case that is completely irrelevant. And the second part of the RNG would be fruit placements, or like the fruit that are being thrown into your face by King Boo.
Yeah, SB already getting a fruit cycle in the beginning. See if he gets... Oh, that's an extra cycle actually. Yeah, that's about 8 seconds that he loses there.
Yeah.
Could be another one. Okay, he gets a fruit cycle. Actually, if a fruit cycle is possible and there's a question mark in the middle before he spins it... Oh, one of the peppers got eaten, okay.
He got the weird throw that like sometimes just the throw, the pepper just wants to not hit King Boo and go to
it actually despawned, so you only have 2 of them, so... Gotta make sure that he hits the second one, but he got it. Well, Basten on the runner 4, solid movement. Okay, he delayed his spin jump there, looked kinda scary, but he got it.
SB's having a rough time with the fruits, but only getting 1 extra. These fruits were not so great, so it would just be like the equivalent of 2 extra cycles. Happens. Does still SB's run is so great. I can say that I'm a broken record at this point. And Basten is a whole King Boo fight behind, which is like can be not 2.5, but bit more.
No.
But less than 3.
And we have to also say that SB is doing Serena 600 Japanese version, so
Oh, true.
he will definitely take a little bit longer than you would on a PAL version. You just have to clean more of the beach. And there's also some invisible groups, so you have to be very meticulous with your sprays, because if you miss invisible group, you won't know where it is in the end, so... Like, I've seen runners like lose huge amounts of time just by not finding the invisible group, so...
Wait,
I don't know what's gonna happen there.
So you want to say that you can't see invisible group?
It's invisible, so... you can see the sparks going up and down if you look really closely, but being able to find that, especially in a situation in a race where you're pressed for time. Let's see if he gets all of it.
PB attempt. PB race.
Yeah, it's both for SB right now. Okay, 216. Not too bad for the Japanese version. Had some additional sprays, but... Oh, what is Basten doing? Ground pounding the wall.
Ground pounding? Huh? What happened?
He was like close to the wall, ground pounded, and then bonked because he hit the wall with his ground pound. But...
Okay, yeah,
Oh no. So what happened there is that the durian bounced off Mario, so... King Boo was actually hit by the durian, and you cannot damage him with the pepper while he's in this animation, so... It happens really rarely, but... I think Basten might have not known about that, so he threw the pepper right away.
That was quite funny though. I'm sorry about that. That was funny.
Meanwhile, SB getting a quick kill here on this Shadow Mario as well.
Yeah. Not before
I think there was... Was there any extra cycle on Basten's side?
I want to say yes, because I didn't really look, but I think not.
Yeah, I think that was the best RNG cycle-wise there.
He had a hard time with the fruits, so that essentially adds a fruit, like an extra cycle equivalent of fruit RNG onto this.
Alright, SB on his way to Nuki 1. He doesn't get the wall kicks, so he will have to wait for the next cycle. Because every 4 seconds the mold is actually throwing either like those goop balls or bombs, so... One cycle miss, just a small time loss though.
Every little bit matters, and Basten has time to make a lot of time. Oh, okay, a lot of time would be close to a minute at this point for Basten, but still 10 seconds plus can definitely help out.
Yeah, you can see how Basten leaves some goop over, because you don't have to clean as much on a PAL version, it's more forgiving, so...
Yeah, I would rather not watch this because it makes me jealous of how much he can just leave, but he is still... He cleans up more, like he's less risky than he could be on PAL. 223 is still pretty...
Yeah, saving 7 seconds, well, quote-unquote saving, because that's the difference between JP and PAL roughly, but that's one of the version differences where Basten can catch up a little bit. Meanwhile, SB is doing Noki 2, which is super fun movement to watch and to play. Doing this spring clip at the end. Meanwhile, Basten is finishing up the second to last Shadow Mario, so let's see how this will go. SB actually got him on the wooden plank there.
Which is fine. You can like regular spray him down before the wood, and sometimes he can get barely to the stairs.
So yeah, Basten Shadowmar going a bit further, but really small difference. So
I mean, Basten kind of wanted to not lose a second or like half a second there. I think at least I think so.
because if he goes on top of the stairs, there's like kind of like a checkpoint. If he goes past that point, he's gonna run up to the first floor there, which can lose a lot of time. So always good to get him early on. SB on red coins. Using the first person there to turn around quicker, because if you're in first person, you can take much steeper turnaround angles there.
Yeah, the water mechanics are pretty jank, I would say.
Oh, he actually missed the star there, but small time loss.
The star? Anyway.
That's fine.
Anyway, as Wilco mentioned, you can't really turn underwater, so you go into first person instead to change your angle.
We'll see that again on the eel fights.
Yeah.
I wonder what threat both runners are going for. I would imagine SB will probably go for 6 teeth.
Yeah. Basten, I think, also goes for 6 teeth. But I think he sometimes, like, he's a little bit inconsistent, so he might go for 5 teeth. But we will see later on. Definitely.
So, for anyone who's wondering, the teeth amount that we are mentioning is how many teeth we get before the first rotation. So it used to be 4, then eventually people went with 5, and then the test drive was 6, and then people just got better, and now that everyone is like doing 6 teeth. Man, you're making me so self-conscious now. It's like...
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
But how do you? Okay, one of the teeth is golden, so like you can, I think, mistake it as a star.
Right,
I think that's fair.
And gets he. Oh, okay. He got out there. I was actually pretty close because, like, sometimes you make it out, but the game decides that you're not out and still plays the cutscene.
And this is a I don't know how it happened to SB.
Yeah, he didn't get. He was intended to get damaged there by the tooth because the cutscene won't play if you're in the damage animation. And I actually lost 15 seconds there, so
yeah,
getting the cutscene there is quite a big time loss.
I think he was in the right position, but he just like got pushed back by something. It seemed like, and wasn't in position to get a damage anymore.
No.
That was quite stupid, honestly. Yeah, that didn't seem like his fault. But that's like sunshine for you.
So yeah, Basten definitely caught up within the last like 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. Like, I think he's again in the point range where he could get some points.
And even though his group is super extremely rough, I would say he has probably the most difficult group out of anyone. Maybe.
Yeah. I would still argue that's important for him to get points though, because I mean, as we can see what happened in the last race where somebody game overed, you can also soft lock an EYG, so there's the possibility that a race is gonna be 90 to 0 points. And if you only get a few points and the next opponent doesn't get any points, then you might still make it in a tight situation.
And even if Basten goes, is this double round robin or one round? I'm not sure.
Let me
but
check. I
but
can check real quick.
Okay, but let's say Basten loses all of his matches. Taking off points from runners can make you play spoiler, and if it's a close thing between first, second, and third seed out of this group, you taking off points can still play a role. So Basten definitely can still have an impact.
Yeah, I just checked the group, so it's actually a single race, so everyone is doing 3 races.
Okay.
Let's see how Basten is gonna do. He seems to be a bit late there, so I'm not sure if he's gonna go for 6 teeth. Yeah, he's going for 5 teeth, playing it safe.
Loses a bit of time.
But yeah, if he gets the cutscene skip at the end, then he will still save quite a bit of time. Oh, he didn't finish. I promise you can actually not clean up the tooth while he's spinning, so he actually has to do it again, but he can actually get... Alright, will he get the...
cutscene skip with low health. Missed it.
Oh, like he was inside the tooth there, but he still didn't get the damage, so... That's unfortunate.
The teeth have like so bad of hitboxes. You don't spray the tooth itself. You spray its root rather, and even then, it's so stupid.
I'm kind of wondering if he actually planned to go for 5 teeth eel, or if he went 6 teeth, because wouldn't you do the golden tooth last then, because it has like a bigger hitbox?
Yeah, you would do the go too fast, so...
Yeah. So I think he actually like wanted to go for 6 tooth, but he did the good call where he realized that he wouldn't be able to clean all 6 of them, so he went for 5. But unfortunately, he also got that time loss from the cutscene.
We completely didn't talk about SB's Noki 6. It was pretty decent, had like very few hiccups.
Did he go for green cycle or blue cycle?
He went for green cycle and rope strats. Was kind of a late green cycle, and he had a little hiccup on Noki 6 on the ropes, but it's fine because that shine can be kind of tricky. It's not an easy shine, definitely. It's
still SB already going into Corona.
Yeah, it's still a really good run by SB. He can get a mid 116 still.
I mean, being like 15 to 20 seconds off your PB in a race, that's a really good time.
He was ahead for the majority of it. That group is definitely scary with SB and Guy both really damn consistent.
Yeah. SB going for the fast Corona. Just spin jump dive onto the platform, so...
Yeah, which makes me glad because he didn't go for it for the longest time. And the like strats that are worse than fast Corona, I think.
He just has to do the rocket storage and only the Bowser fight left now.
Yeah, he's on mid 116 pace, which is pretty crazy.
It is possible to get by the goop, hit by the goop there, but pretty unlikely. Plus, if you know how to react, then you should not really die from it. There's some situations where it hits you on the way back, but let's see how that final fight goes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Basten and Noki 6.
It's kind of vital to hit the correct parts of these pads, I would say. Sometimes you can just like butt side off a little bit and then lose your rocket charge, or you can Just
Or you get like a little bounce if you don't hit like the top right corner of the platform. But looking really solid by SB and
yeah,
actually finishing with a 1:16:31.
yeah, that's crazy. That's
Meanwhile, pretty solid Snooki 6 by Basten there.
a gold crawler by according to SB even.
Nice.
GG to him. Really, really good time though. I'm impressed.
So let's look at that Shadow Mario kill. I'm not quite too sure about like the timing, how long Corona takes. So maybe you can tell me if he's still able to finish within 3 minutes or not.
Wait,
Oh.
no.
Oh no, he didn't get him there. Like if he goes over the pond, then it's just a small time loss. But if he starts the wall kicks, you cannot get him before that spot. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, there's no way for Basten to get points now. Corona takes a bit more than 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, very
Really
solid race by SB. He's taking the full 90 points, so he's actually tying Shadow Mario for the first spot now.
Yeah, so that will be crucial. Guy versus Basten will also be important for both Basten and Guy. Because if Guy, let's say if Guy wins but doesn't get the full 90 points, then there will be SB and Shadow Mario with 90 and a win, and Guy with less than 90. And points can matter a lot.
Oh wait, is it that you get 1 point if you finish a race or something?
Our pity point?
I don't know exactly. I thought it's always like 10 seconds at the end, but it chat says that you can still get more.
Okay, maybe we're just wrong with the format. I can't really. I didn't pay much attention to it. Oops. I mean, I got asked to commentate this race 5 minutes before it happened, so don't expect us to be prepared for this.
Oh wait, he didn't get the full storage there? Oh no.
Yeah, he.
At least he didn't land at lava.
Yeah, it's. I think he got a limp rocket, where you just like not get the momentum you would actually need.
I mean, it's like different places. Like some people like to see where the opponent is, but there's also some runners who just don't want to see any feed and just play the game. So I don't even know if Basten knows what time SB actually got. I see most people look it up. Like I could imagine that I would probably play better if I didn't look at the opponent, but you just want to know, like.
I think in this case, Basten would have been fine seeing SB. He would. Excuse me. He would be like, okay, SB's on like the run of his life. I can't really. I'm not really set up to beat him. I will just play. I'll just try to play my game then, and at least finish the race. 120 is. Come on, Basten. 120 to close to a 121 isn't really what Basten wants. What most people wouldn't be fine with. But it happens. Basten had some like really unfortunate things happen to him, and
Oh, with the swag at least.
yeah.
Side flip ground pound. Don't need a rocket if you have good timing on the ground pound there. I mean, he did have the water foot, so he didn't have to do it, but showing off that he still has some hidden skills there. Yeah, I don't know if we have like a post-game interview or not. If that is coming up.
We might have, because I don't think we have anything coming after this today. So it's up to the people.
Yeah, we don't have anything going on today, but tomorrow there's actually gonna be.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
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 What's up?
GG, guys.
GG.
Yeah.
Congrats, SB, for your run and the win.
Thank you.
GG, Basten, on having a sick ending to your run. So, guys, what are your both of your thoughts about this, or about your runs? I think starting with SB is fair.
Yeah, I had a pace going there. That was my first 47 Rico actually.
Oh.
Yeah, that was an insane pace. Like, you played like, except that one Shadowmaru kill in the beginning, you played that really well.
Oh yeah.
And then the PD RNG, the early cycle, like that was some hot pace there.
That pinner was actually pretty good. That pinner was.
So did it make you extra nervous that you were like on PB pace? Or were you just thinking about the race? Like what was going through your head there?
I mean, I've been on these paces for the past week, so just another day.
Yeah, Labita mentioned that you just PB'd like yesterday or today. What was it? By 2 seconds?
Yeah, it was yesterday. It's pretty cool. But yeah, then I kind of made an oopsie whoopsie in Serena 4. I wanted to dive, but I did a jump dive. A little awkward. But
It happens. Maybe you will get the 115 next race.
Yeah, maybe.
Or again, 2 second PB. I can imagine both.
Yeah,
And
probably.
Basten, you are in.
So I was actually looking up the, because Chad mentioned it earlier. Apparently, if the difference is more than 5 minutes, then it's a 90-point difference. So because of that, Basten actually still gets 4 points at least. So who knows, if your next opponent is gonna game over and you get the full 90 points, then there still might be a chance.
So Basten, what did you think about your run? Your run was kind of rough, like from Piano 5 onwards.
Yeah, some unfortunate deaths on the secrets, and my Pinna one was really bad. But eventually I started watching the stream because I was really far behind, and I saw SB doing a really good job on his run. So I was like really cheering him at that point. I was not even worried about losing or something.
Like, at what point did you start watching the stream? Did you watch it from the beginning, or did you?
I check it out every now and then a little bit, where we're both at, but not constantly. But at the end, I did watch the full stream because I want to see SB finish the run.
Yeah.
Yeah. SB has definitely
want to
shown
cheer
that.
for that runner actually getting that PB, because he was on like big PB pace for a long time, and that's
yeah,
nice.
indeed.
Oh, well.
How about you, SB? Have you been watching the stream on the side, or?
Yeah, I had it on the whole time.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool.
Seeing where Basten died and.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. What happened? Like, it started in Pianta 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I pressed A and B, but none of those buttons worked. So yeah, I just got trolled by the Pianta, but that doesn't give me enough distance to reach the platform.
Yeah, I was wondering because it looked like the distance was good on your throw, but like if you press A and B, you get thrown a bit further, but it didn't work, unfortunately.
But the game didn't even touch the A, so I didn't got enough speed.
That was quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, Basten, you have your next match tomorrow actually against Guy.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that match?
Well, literally my opponents in my pool are like very good and a lot better than me. And Guy is yeah, doing really good lately. He's been grinding really fast, so I believe it's gonna be really hard to win from this person. But I hope he plays a good game tomorrow, and I hope he makes
Yeah.
it's fun to watch.
Yeah, you're having a really hard time. Like it almost looks like you're in a group of death there.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, it's the toughest group, but I would say. I don't want to say by far, because
Yeah,
Genius's
well,
group is.
it is what it is, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So any more questions, or are we going to wrap it up here? So if you look at the schedule, so we're done for today with GSA, but tomorrow there's gonna be the SMB free tournament, and after that there's actually gonna be the SMS race between Basten and Guy. So make sure to tune into that.
Any final
Should
words
be epic.
from SB and Basten?
This tournament's gonna be fun. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So that's it for today. Keep track with the schedule with what Wilco said, SMB3 tomorrow. And I think the other Sunshine race, I actually forgot the schedule already. I'm great.
Yeah, Basten against Guy tomorrow, and then some more SMS action. Plus, we actually have the playoffs of Division 2 and SM64, which will happen this week as well.
True.
So that's gonna be it from us. Thank you for watching. GG to both. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for commentating.
Yeah, indeed, Avatar. Thanks for backing up the commentating.
Yeah, shout out to RDA. And
yeah, thanks Lavi for like jumping in, because that was like my first commentary, and I was kind of worried I had to solo cast there. So thanks for jumping in there. I'm prepared.
Every time, maybe not every time, but okay, fine, no issue. Anyway, for sure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Yo, peace out, everyone.
Bye bye.